Hello and welcome to the Silver Screen Show, where we talk everything about movies, film and cinema. Tonight's episode we have our co-host Abu with us, and we'll be discussing the space horror Life. The night is Throwback, Power Rangers, and a sleeper hit. A very good horror film, horror comedy.
Horror comedy satire, it's a bit of everything.
Horror comedy satire, directed by Jordan Peele, one of our favorite comedians.
I'm a fan of that guy, yes.
I know. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get down to it.
Yes, let's.
Abu, first film. Let's hit out with Life. Because that's one of the earlier ones that came out.
I think came out last week, if I recall. So
I mean, there have been so many new films coming out, and pretty good ones, if I have to say.
To be honest, there's not much negativity this week from me. It's all pretty much good.
No, similar here. Similar here, which is rare sometimes, isn't it?
Usually one film gets a kicking.
Yeah, it gets ripped apart sometimes, don't they? So, just a quick summary of Life. Life is directed by Daniel Espinosa, the director of Assassin's Creed.
Thankfully, didn't follow that path.
Well, I thought Assassin's Creed was okay, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, the film follows Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson from Mission Impossible, and Ryan Reynolds, our favorite motor mouth, Daredevil.
Merc with the mouth.
Merc with the mouth. So the film follows three scientists. These are three scientists, along with Idris Elba.
Idris Elba? No, it wasn't. It was Idris Elba.
Sorry, not Idris Elba.
He does look like Idris.
He definitely does look like Idris Elba. When you saw the film initially, I mistook it for him as well. But anyway, the film follows the scientists in the International Space Station, real life space station, and they are trying to collect a Mars soil sample, which likely has life within it. And it follows, what follows on is how life becomes more complicated.
Sentient.
And as usual, sentient life is evil life. So it really becomes a monster film after a certain while.
It's pretty much a homage to Alien. Definitely is. It's got the whole...
Alien?
Yeah. Like it's
it definitely is.
It
Only that in Alien, the alien comes from out of nowhere, whereas here they...
But it's a whole like aliens stalking them on a space station. It's got that sort of vibe. So it's done a good... You can tell they're clearly trying to get some inspiration from that sense of things.
Definitely. I thought that this film had a lot of... this film had a lot of the typical alien space horror cliches to it. And so your verdict on that is definitely correct.
Yeah.
But if we were going to go say the main things you liked or disliked about the film, what would you start?
I liked the alien, who's the name Calvin, weirdly. It's like such a non-threatening name, but now Calvin rocks. I like the aspect of him just going crazy and just, in the film basically they wake him up and they stimulate him and he gets angry and possessed, like a bit of his survival instinct kicks in and he's like, I need to just eat. So, I mean, the part of the film is literally him stalking the whole entire space station and going around. And as
in fact, is the predator.
Yeah, and as...
well, we say he, it could be a she.
It's true, it. So as it stalks space station, I think it's really well done when it's at its smaller phases. The initial phases, when Calvin's small and you don't know where it could be. That part is a lot more suspenseful than later on when it gets a bit bigger. Like once it's like, he's hiding in corners, he's hiding in a gap in the roof.
Could be anywhere.
That is, I think they've done that part really well because they hear him and they just can't see him. It goes like flat as well. They don't know where it can be.
Yeah.
So I think, and as he grows in the film, I think he is one of the stars of the show, even though he's not really, it's all CGI. So it's like, but I enjoyed that part of it. I like the fact that he just did not care. Like I'm out just to eat. Just to eat,
I'm the top of the apex predator.
Exactly. The rest of you guys, good luck.
Cycle of life. Oh. Well, I thought, I do agree with a lot of the things you just said. I thought the alien itself was very neatly done, and they
gave you a reason to why.
They give a proper reason as to why the alien is doing the things they are doing, instead of in the film Alien, where it's just doing to
just wants to kill,
terrorize people, a terrorist alien. But here the alien really is like a life form that develops very quickly, and I thought one thing was really cool. They went into the depths of what the alien life form actually is like. So it's like a human stem cell, where that one cell can be a lot of things. Yeah. So in this case, it's a muscle cell, it's a brain cell, as well as an eye cell. Yeah.
So it evolves as it learns and grows. It gets stronger and stronger.
Which is why it makes sense that such a small alien can so quickly develop such a neural synaptic network.
And I have to add, the film is surprisingly like graphic, which was
it is very graphic.
It was good, but it caught me like, wow, I didn't expect it to be that. Like it feels squeamish.
Was it because of Ryan Reynolds?
Everyone gets pretty much like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but obviously people do die in the film because the alien grows. So, but like the death scenes are very, very whoa. I did not expect that much, but it does make it a bit more serious, like, in the sense this alien is not messing around. This is a serious situation.
It definitely makes it more real, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Makes it more real. Like, they just could have just died off screen or something.
They easily could have made it a PG-13.
So I think the 15.
Somehow, and they cut to the faces rather than show the person.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think things I didn't like is probably the mix of characters. I think they followed the wrong characters in the movie. So I'm not going to spoil who survives and who dies. But I think the players that did survive till the end weren't really the best choice. Like, they're not really the ones I would have liked to have followed. Like, the other people probably were better candidates as
who could have been the main character.
Exactly. I mean, one of them had like, a kid, like to go back to. I think, that's something I want to feel. Or one of the guys a lot more interesting. He talks a lot. He gives a bit more atmosphere to the scenes, stuff like that. Whereas the ones that do end up, it's like, they really could have just chosen, because there's 6 of them on the station. So, it's just that. I think that wise.
Good, I think that's a great insight. I think I agree with that. Especially because a lot of the deaths are quite surprising. Anyone could have died. They didn't have to keep the people they kept alive.
They only clearly kept them because they are the main characters. And I mean, they don't really have any survival. They're scientists. They don't have any survival instincts. They don't have any combat experience. They can't, it's just like, they just survive because luckily Calvin didn't sneak up on them when he could have snuck up on someone else. But
one thing I just realized, Calvin, is it not the name of the robot in 2001 Space Odyssey?
I have no idea. To be honest, I cannot.
No, it's Cal. It's Cal.
Cal. It is Cal. Yeah.
But I thought it was short for Calvin.
It could be.
And that's why it makes sense that
could have been a throwback.
Here, villain as well.
And I think what else? I think I had one more other thing to say. I think where it also did disappoint is the ending. Don't want to spoil it, but I could see it coming.
Don't spoil it.
My brother said to me, "This is what's gonna happen," and it's like pretty much it did happen, and it was just
so predicted.
Even it's going to be like, even before he finished, this was going to happen. I'm like, And when it happened, we're like, they just like, it was just done in such a way that you could tell it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They could have like executed in a better way to be a bit more like intensity to it.
Not just that, I thought the ending was a letdown because the film could have gone many, many different ways. And they decided to take it a way which is a very safe option. Like, I've seen that kind of ending before. I've seen it in...
They're basically setting up a sequel baiting. That's all.
Probably did. In fact, speaking of sequel, I don't know if you know, this film is done by Sony, and Sony also owns Spider-Man, and there were talks about this being the Venom prequel, but apparently it's not. So
conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories always would love to conspiracy theorize. But apart from that, I think one thing I didn't like was everything in the film felt very convenient, in the sense that all the plot points felt
merged
very
together
forced.
at the perfect time.
And like one happened after another. Oh, we don't have enough fuel remaining to operate the thrusters. We don't have enough incinerator fuel to kill the thing.
We can only use 4 shots.
We can only go that way. We can only do this. And so, exactly. So everything was very convenient, and they didn't take time for the plot points to move from one place to another, which in most films I would say is a plus, but in this film it felt very forced. That's one thing I thought. I didn't like. And that definitely affected the pacing of the film for me as well. Because in a film like this, you want to be very, very hooked to the characters. To be able to root for them to survive in a typical monster film. Where in this film the characters were very, very washed out, and they almost didn't look like scientists.
I mean, if you throw back to Rebecca Ferguson in Rogue Nations, she's such a interesting character. Whereas here, she's just she
actually had a character.
Exactly.
You could feel her personality. Over here, it's just as logical as the typical Hollywood scientists go.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't know emotion, only logical. Even
Yeah.
at one point, she says, I don't think this is even scientific, but I feel anger.
Yeah.
Like, of course scientists feel anger. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
it's not unscientific to feel anger.
How dare scientists have emotions?
Yeah. That just goes to show how, like, typical Hollywood sensibility, like, oh, scientists are logical people.
Which is the throwback to, like, if the character was just a bit more stronger, I think the film would have been probably
elevated to a better position, right? Absolutely, yeah.
Which I'll probably say now in my review.
Yeah. And one thing I have to say, a film called Life, which you presumably think goes very deep into the meaning of life and why life in our planet means the same as life in Mars, in the sense that we're the apex predators in our planet, whereas in Mars, this guy is probably the apex predator. And when we two mix, life carries forth, and life just chooses whoever is the survivor rather than...
Were you expecting that deep, thoughtful message?
I definitely was. Why name it Life? Why name it Life? You could have named it anything else. You could have named it...
Space Monster.
Yeah, you could have...
Calvin. Just call it Calvin.
Or Help Me or something.
Could call it Calvin, to be honest.
Yeah, or Get Out. Even Get Out. Get Out is a cool name.
Taken.
Yeah, and in that sense, I thought it was just... It just went the typical route for monster horror in the third act. And it had nothing to do with life itself. So I thought they should have named it something different.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So if you could sum it all up.
If I'm to sum it all up, I would say forgettable.
Okay, forgettable?
Forgettable. That is my one word.
One word.
Yeah, I don't need to. Like, I've already forgotten the other 3 words.
Mine is just like character, I think.
Lacked character.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's from my personal view, keeping it from being a really good film. They got the monster right, they got the whole feel right. It's just the characters didn't really care.
Especially Jake Gyllenhaal. You know, you've seen Nightcrawler, right? Yeah. Oh. You've seen Nightcrawler. Jake Gyllenhaal.
No,
you haven't.
No.
He's a fantastic actor.
He's one of the photographer, right?
Yeah, he's a photographer, and he almost now makes his scenes to. Anyway, it's a different film. But Jake Gyllenhaal can act. He's a class actor. He really, really is a good actor, and especially good when it comes to narcissistic, obsessive, psychotic personalities.
And this is just like, oh, hey.
And this film is exactly that kind. He could have, I'm sure he would have been able to showcase it better had the pacing in the film not been so off.
He hates life on Earth. They don't really explain why he just hates it. Like, we just have to accept it that he just doesn't like. Why? What happened to him? Did something happen?
Exactly. That's very good. That's another good observation. They didn't go into the motivations of it.
Yeah, they're like, I hate life back on Earth. I'm like,
he
why?
just looks like
something must have happened to you that makes you hate Earth. But
he just looks like a typical depressed guy.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, NASA or any space agency wouldn't just hire a typical depressed guy to go to space, operate billion-dollar machinery. In that respect, again, it doesn't look realistic to me.
Cool. Let's move on.
Moving on. Our next film is our 90s favorite superheroes, Power Rangers.
Yes.
Most of us have forgotten Power Rangers in terms of superhero.
But they
really were superheroes, though. They were the superheroes who, like in the 90s, the TV superheroes. They kicked off
this, like,
our fascination. They and Dragon Ball Z.
They
probably kicked off our fascination with superheroes.
Yeah. So, but, I mean, it's good to see. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The trailers, I was not expecting much from it. Like when the first trailers came out, like, do I really want a dark, gritty Power Rangers movie? Like, I mean, Power Rangers isn't usually dark. It's not great. It's a bit, over the top, fun. A bit of fights, mecha action.
Yeah, it's just silly aspects that make it what.
Yeah, it's like Transformers essentially, but better. But yeah, whereas this one's like, I didn't know it was a Power Rangers trailer until the end. I'm like, oh, that was Power Rangers? Like, what the hell? What was that about? So
exactly, yeah. In the end, that's only when they show their morphin.
Yes.
Morphin time.
So my initial fears were like, okay, this is probably going to be too. But to be honest, it was a lot better than I thought it would be from the initial release.
Yeah. So you went into the film.
I went into if it's good.
Expecting the worst. Like,
I thought.
The Zack Snyder.
It was all dark filter, moody, grim, somber. But no, they actually did a really good job of building up. Because this like. Hopefully they want to start this as a foundation to like more films.
They've in fact got 6 films already written down.
So like if this one failed, then obviously the whole follow-on plan falls apart in itself. So
Definitely does.
like I said, I think this film did really well in the sense of establishing that core foundation. So
okay, before we delve into the review, let me just give a quick overview of what the film does. The film follows 5 teenagers.
Yeah.
They're in a small town.
Angel
setting.
Grove.
Angel Grove.
Angel Grove,
I love the small town setting, by the way, and I'll come back to it later. But they're in a small town setting, and they discover alien
spaceship.
An alien spaceship, and they've got some coins.
They find superpowers,
coins,
basically.
and that gives them superpowers.
Yeah.
And now they're super cool, and they suddenly come face to face with Earth's life-threatening
apocalyptic
threats.
event.
Yeah.
So
and that's what follows. So, yeah. First off, I want to say that the characters in the film were fantastic.
Of course, I think
They're
I agree.
absolutely fantastic. It was a character-driven film, and the film, by the way, is directed by a guy called Dean Israelite.
Okay.
And he directed Project Almanac. That was a very, very similar film to this, where 5 or 6 teenagers, I can't remember, it's a found footage film, 5 or 6 teenagers discover an alien spaceship, and they go to the alien spaceship and they suddenly acquire superpowers.
And their lives changed.
Very, very similar.
So the guy knows how to direct one of these films.
Yeah, Project Almanac was a pretty shit film. It wasn't as good. But this guy was apparently, they must have won the, he must have won the...
So maybe he's like, you know what, I want to get some retribution here, and I think,
And to that respect, he does do some good to the characters at least, but there are some aspects in the film which obviously
I think in this film, it's a very, like I said, it's a very character-motivated film. The morphing action really takes place at the final third act.
The final third act, the final 10th act.
So yeah, like it's very little morphing action to be honest in the grand scheme of things. So it was very important that the characters do mesh together. There's chemistry, and you feel for them. Otherwise, if you don't care about them, the whole film fails there and there.
Yeah.
And I think what they do really well is the fact that they manage to make us care about all these people.
Yeah.
And because they're brand new, like none of these actors are big. Like, they're not massively big. It's not like bringing Robert Downey Jr. into Iron Man, which is like off the bat, it's a big name. Here they're all very low key actors. So for them to be able to establish themselves as a character really helps it out.
Absolutely.
Because what was I gonna say? Because it mentions like the inner strife of these people. They're not perfectly happy teenagers. Like in the Saturday morning show, they're just happy going to school, skydiving and doing all this stuff. Here they actually have problems of their own. So now this time we've got this whole, the war's going to end in like a week. Sort yourself out. They're like, well, I haven't got my life sorted out. How much to go and save the world?
Yeah, and every one of them, their backstories were not, I didn't feel them to be forced.
No.
And so they felt very natural and organic and very modern in the sense of how teenagers these days would have a backstory.
Yeah, they also like do it in a way where when they do find it all, to say their true feelings, the conflicts, they do it in a way that it feels right, rather than something, oh yeah, by the way, my mom's dying at home.
Like in Expendables. I don't know if you remember Expendables 2. They have a scene where they're in the hotel, and they suddenly start talking about their.
I'm trying to remember Expendables 2. It's
it was a memorable film, wasn't it? Goes to show. But yeah, that part stood out to me because it was so forced.
Yeah, whereas this one,
adrenaline junkie big guys would never talk about that.
Suddenly it's open up with their deepest fears and stuff.
Whereas in this one, it felt very natural. Yeah.
So yeah, like for sure the best parts was the character, especially the Blue Ranger. Was it Billy Cranston?
Billy Cranston.
What's his name? Actually, now I forgot his actual name. I had it written down somewhere.
Yeah, no, that guy is.
Yeah, Billy Cranston's the name of the character.
He's actually a good actor.
Yeah.
He acts really well, and I don't know how much of the parts about him being autistic is from the directors forcing it onto them, or him playing them by himself. Because a lot of the time actors put on their own
own spin on their roles.
Yeah, own spin, own interpretation of what the character should be. So I thought this guy did things really, really well. And
like his general actual enthusiasm really helps sell the role. Like he actually wanted to be a superhero. Yeah. Like that was like, oh man, I got this whole, now I have to do this. He's like, I want to be Iron Man. Proper like, you could feel it. Like he's the only one who's genuinely happy that he's got this, he's going to have this power and stuff. Yeah. So by far, I think, I forgot his name, if you probably want to
let me look it up, because I think
he deserves a shout out as well. But I think the others also did very well. Yeah. And on that side it was good, but on the downside, I'd say the morphing action. You want to see the action. It's part of the film, and they kind of just shoved it right at the end. I mean, it was good when it happened. They had the music kicks in when the Zords come out. Like, yeah, I'm feeling it. But you're like, I wish I had a bit more of that, like a bit more balanced, rather than it being right at the end. It's just like
the action itself wasn't much to speak for. It was just like shooting, and then problem.
Yeah.
How do we come across it? Friendship.
Yeah, which is how it all works. Together. But it's like I wish they did a bit more of that rather than like, because some scenes in the movie are a bit like there's no reason to have them in there. And they could probably put in more morphing time in that. But you know what? That's the way they wanted to go. They did it quite well in a sense. And one thing else I think is like the final. When they combine to make the Zord. They were like
Megazord.
Yeah, so they were like really like building up that on the edge of the thing. They're gonna like fall into the pit. They fall in the pit. Then like it just comes up transform. Like, no, I want to see them transform. The music and everything. They just like go into a pit, and then it just comes out transform. Like, no, I don't want to see. I want to see the whole.
No, I know what you mean.
The build up, like this, it wasn't there. Like, come on, man, you need to have that. The awesome moment when it happens.
You have to give the fan service.
Yeah, the fan service, exactly. I want to see like the more transform.
Yeah. Most people going there would be fans.
Oh, of course,
like children.
It's either children or us 90s kids watching it. So I kind of wish they did make that. This is one of my little flaws I had. Is like I wish they really just showed it a bit more, hyped it up more than when fall into pit. Then probably because couldn't afford the budget for the CGI and just comes out.
The CGI was actually decent. I would say the CGI was decent.
I'm saying they probably ran out of budget to do that animation for the transformation scene, so just it took part out of camera and just pops up all fully assembled.
Probably, mate.
Probably. Also, one more chance, probably to was Elizabeth Banks who did Rita.
Elizabeth Banks.
She looked like she really enjoyed playing that role. So
she definitely did. She got into the screaming, didn't she?
At the beginning, it was a bit weird. She's a bit like creepy, stalkish. But at the end, which is like full on like in your face villain, it looked like she really enjoyed it. And that's nice to see them actually enjoying the role and giving it all.
She definitely gave it her all. I could tell as well.
Exactly. Really enjoyed.
Like you can tell when you're putting it in your voice
or you're phoning it in, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And those were good. By the way, the Blue Ranger, his name is R.J. Seiler.
That's the one.
I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but this guy is
shout out to him. I look forward to seeing him in the future movies as well.
I wish he was the leader because he's.
I think Red Ranger is a Red Ranger. It's got to be the.
No, I'm saying he was played by He was playing the Red Ranger. I wish he was.
You wish he was the leader. Yeah. I think he's a bit like because he's on the spectrum, so he wouldn't be the most reliable. I think to handle being the leader, you have to handle the pressure and make the logical decision. I think obviously he can't be that the way he is. He can't really be put under pressure as a leader. So it probably makes sense why
he played the. So he's an autistic guy, by the way, in the film, and he plays it really well. He's like little claps.
It's like Abed from Community. If you watch Community, he's like exact similar kind of.
I watched Community.
You gotta watch it, but like one of the characters also on this like autistic, or he's like referred to that he's on the spectrum and kind of similar role. So
that's great.
But I mean that was great. So I'll give him definitely shout out to that. And I think the entire cast did well. Yeah. The action was a bit restricted. I would like a bit more action, to be honest, rather than all the talking. Yeah. But I think they did enough to at least spin off a few other films now. I think they've done. And the product placement. Let's not name the product company. We don't want to give any free advertisement, but they've done it really well. I think that's the best way I've ever seen like a product get so in your face, shoved into your face.
As in your face as it can be, and
but
even then acceptable.
Yeah, it's funny.
It was completely acceptable. And when I was in the theater, everyone was laughing every time.
Yeah, every time the name came out. Even when Rita goes in and starts eating
bizarre. It's just so bizarre.
It's very meta, isn't it? It's like, what the hell?
Meta, very much is.
But it's better. Like films like Transformers are just so obviously just like here's my brand of headphones.
So cheaply done.
Well, this one
they do it very cheaply. Like, look, Bumblebee.
Michael Bay just like here's the money, just put in the face. Like, whereas this one
or Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. That's not.
That's banned.
But this is how you do product placement if you want to do product placements.
It's funny and but overall.
Anything else I have to say? I'm just thinking. One thing I did find was that they didn't. And this is due to the director's lacking. He didn't mesh the silly part with the gritty part.
The transition,
there were a lot of... So, for example, a lot of the film is around gritty aspects of life. Like when the Pink Ranger, she confesses that she's actually a bad person.
Yeah, she's bullying people.
She's bullying someone else. That part is very real. That's like Zootropolis level of real. Right? It definitely took me back to Zootropolis because Zootropolis handled really real issues, like you say.
Yeah.
But then again, you have very silly fighting moves, which you would expect from a typical
Power Rangers.
And I thought the mesh didn't go well. And
like secondly, one Rita drops on the ceiling.
Hello. Exactly. That part is another part.
Since when could you teleport through walls and just like appear on?
Exactly. Where did you come from? You still don't have superpowers to teleport.
Exactly.
You must have unlocked the door somehow or climbed up the window. Very, very.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine someone looking from outside, seeing Rita climb up the window. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Which is the another cons about the film I thought, which is the pacing. A lot of the part in the film is very slow when they're discussing their life stories and they're coming to get to know each other. And then all of a sudden you cut to Rita on top of the Yellow Ranger, threatening her to join them. It just didn't work. I thought the pacing was very sudden in some parts, and in some parts it was just drawn out. So those things aside, I thought it was a decent film, a decent take on Power Rangers, and if I'm to give really a one-word review, it really is decent. But meh. Yeah, it really is meh.
My summary will be, I think it was saved by nostalgia, definitely. I think
saved by nostalgia.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for the whole nostalgia factor, it would be watch it, you would have fun, you would forget about it. I think because nostalgia really saved it, and they did it really well, to be honest. Yeah. They didn't rely too much on it, but they had enough thrown in to keep.
Definitely kudos to the actors.
And the cameos. They had some cameos from the old Power Rangers as well. So
definitely.
Yeah, so that was nice to see.
Yeah,
so
that was good.
But yeah, that's what did I say about that, to be honest? So yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to our next film.
Final film?
Get Out by
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele, our favorite.
His first name is Key and
Peele. I was going to say Key and Peele. I had to stop short. But yeah, those two are etched in my mind as two sides of a coin.
So people aren't aware, Key and Peele is like an American duo, and they're quite big over in the States, and they release they're on Comedy Central and they do hilarious skits. So
they actually are hilarious.
Oh yeah,
it's not
definitely.
the typical Saturday Night Live. They're trying to do their best, but failing epically. So these guys really.
This is his first Jordan Peele, his
directorial debut.
Yeah. Also a film which is totally out of his comfort zone, because he's known for his comedy and his satire, and he's now doing some sort of horror film. Something people are like, whoa, how did he? What? Huh?
So I watched one of his interviews, and he compared horror to comedy. And keep in mind that even though those two always do comedy, a lot of their comedy skits do revolve around horror. Some of them do. And obviously all of them do the black people, racial tensions. But a lot of the time, because racial tensions can lead to horror stuff, some of the skits I remember watching, they played, it was fun. It was humorously done, but with horror involved.
There's spin on it.
So Jordan Peele, in his interview, he was saying that even though comedy and horror sounds completely different, they have a lot of aspects in how the narrative structure follows that is very similar. And he gave the example of reveals coming in. So in comedy, you cannot reveal the comedic punchline suddenly in the beginning. You have to slowly
build up
unravel, build up to it, and then suddenly
drop the line.
And same things with horror, that you slowly build up what's something a bit eerie about this setting, something not right about this environment, and then suddenly you release the music, and then suddenly comes up. But anyway, the film follows
was it
interracial couple?
To be honest, it is a big factor of the film, so you have
it definitely is. So you have to
mention it and
refer to it. An interracial couple, a black guy and
so he's a photographer.
Who's a photographer? I didn't know that was his.
He's a photographer.
I thought he did it as a hobby.
He's a professional. I think he was. But I think he was a professional.
He does in fact, because someone in the film mentions that I'm a fan of your photography. So a photographer, black photographer, and a white city couple. Basically a city couple. They've been going out for a while, and the girl wants to introduce the guy to her family.
So weekend away in the
so they go on a weekend away into a remote rural area in a very, very private setting, and the film follows
is not what it seems, basically.
Everything is not what it seems when they go to the family. So I thought the film was just fantastic in how it revealed all the plot points slowly and slowly.
I mean, it is on 99% on Rotten
Tomatoes.
I'm not sure if it's still on there.
That has to be mentioned.
One guy ruined it.
One guy
ruined it.
Actually, 226 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes as of yesterday. 99%.
Is it still only one bad review?
It wasn't really one bad review.
I think that one bad review, that will never hit 100% again now. So that's how it works.
Not from the KTK. No, I'm joking.
But I think.
But and 8.2, I think, rating on average. So how the way Rotten Tomatoes work, the 99% comes from how many people give more than 60%.
But it doesn't mean the average is 90%.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the average rate, the actual rating of the film is 99%. Actual rating is 8.2%, which is higher than I think even Zootropolis came up. Which is, I mentioned Zootropolis just because I mentioned it before in the film, in the review, but it is fantastic review, and that just goes to show how amazing this film actually is.
The movie is, I loved it. I mean, it's got comedy, it's very satirical, he's making lots of jabs at all parts of society. Yeah. And also, he looks at racism in a way that it's not usually looked at. Like, usually, anything about racism is usually about brutality or the extremist stuff. Whereas this one looks at it in a different way.
Very, very different way.
Yeah, which is like, you don't really see racism in this way. Yeah. Usually it's the whole, let's just, the bad stuff, we know what to do. Yeah. But this one looks at it in a way it's like it's different.
Yeah, exactly. Racism normally is slavery or something to do with that. But in this time it is...
They've looked at it. It's done in a totally
You bring the racism in the very, very modern setting. And some deep-seated notions in people's mind of what like being black means. And then play it around very sick scenario. Yeah. And then you have Get Out. And in the middle of that you have obviously somehow, and it's definitely due to Jordan Peele, he brings out comedic elements in between every aspect. And it's the way it's like visual comedy. It's not even like oh, here's a punchline and laugh now. And there's a backtrack of laughter like Friends would have. But it's the way he directs the film in a visual way. And I see this kind of comedy in Edgar Wright films. Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. Or Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, it's black humor, isn't it? It's like dark humor.
Very much black humor, but so witty, and just.
You can tell he's had a background in comedy. Like it all comes through, and like I said, he looks into the. I don't want to spoil too much of the plot lines.
Yeah, I can't get too deep into it because you really need to enjoy it.
Exactly. So I'm not going to go too much, but it does look into, like I said, racism in a way that it's not usually looked at, and it also it's scary, but it's not like over dramatically scary. It's classed as a horror, but I wouldn't classify as a proper horror film. No. Something like A Cure for Wellness was a lot more disturbing. Yeah, this was nowhere near as disturbing as that film.
It's not Valak.
No, it's not like that. So, but I also give a shout out to his best mate in the film.
Oh yeah,
Lil Roy. I thought Lil Roy is something, but he is like every time he came on screen, he stole it.
Absolutely hilarious.
The crowd, burst out laughing, and I think he.
You could actually feel that they were bros.
Yeah, in real life, that connection really worked. And I thought, at the beginning, I was like, this guy might be a bit annoying, but by the end of it, he's the one who literally saves the whole day. Like, he's the one who figures everything all out.
Let's not spoil it.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like quite an integral player, and I think that really, helps in that sense. I think he really did well.
And shout out to my man. I can't remember his name. I didn't get his name. The guy who played the black actor. He's actually a British guy.
Chris Kaluuya, I think his name is like that.
Yeah. I can't pronounce it. I'm trying to see his name. But this guy really does. I remember reading an article about casting in this film, and they obviously cast it because this is done by an American director. Yeah. He was casting everyone from the States, and then he Skyped this guy to do his interview. Yeah. And immediately hit off, and he realized that this guy is the guy. Yeah. And he chose the right guy. Definitely chose the right guy because it's not just acting that takes him through. It's also even like just the small movements in his face or his eyes just looking very dreary at times, and then suddenly he's saying that to me, this another white guy here.
Yeah, exactly.
You could tell that he's felt that in real life, and he just portrays it so well in the film. Yeah, I just loved him. Without him, it could have been another slasher horror. It could have been anything. I've seen many black guys in films who, not probably due to their own part, but they die off early and something happens, and they're always afraid.
Yeah, this one,
really but this guy, he's very real, and he takes the film to the level of reality it really deserves.
So I think overall, everything was done perfectly. There's not really much you can
take out from the film.
I mean, only thing you can, if you want, is if you're expecting a horror film, don't expect like a proper slasher.
No, it is not a Freddy, Jason.
And it does actually
horror film.
go in a way that obviously it needs some sort of twist in it to make. So it does make a jump to like some sort of like horror aspect of it, and I think the jumps really well.
Yeah, the jump is really well.
So it's not like, wait, where did that come from? Like, that's a bit weird. Whereas you kind of didn't wait, okay, that all makes sense.
And if you look back, so I watched the film twice. And if you look back, you see small hints from the beginning.
I read an article on a website which I will not name, but they commonly make lists. You probably know which website it is. But they mention all this list of things that you might not realize the first time. And there's so much in the film.
All right, let's not spoil
I know,
it.
but
if we go too much into it,
now I'm like, I need to watch it a few more times now. But
the guy, the guy's name is Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya, yeah.
Daniel
Chris's name was character.
Yeah.
Kaluuya, yeah.
Chris is the character.
Yeah. So
Daniel Kaluuya.
overall, definitely one of the best.
Kudos to him. Yeah. Kudos to him. Really well acted.
Definitely, like I think this was just in so many levels. It's great, and I can't recommend it any less. To be honest, like it's
absolutely. Yeah, definitely one film to go watch. Get Out. And watch Get Out.
That is my review. Get out and watch it. It's like Get Out and watch. That's
Get Out and watch it.
Yeah, that is my final summary. I'm not really
if you want to go any further into it, we're gonna spoil the film. Like
exactly, I don't want that.
Element? Yeah, I would so love to have a spoiler
discussion.
Review. Spoiler full discussion.
Yeah.
But this film is one to watch. 99% without saying it's definitely well deserved. 99%.
And that one guy who hated it. I don't know who you are, man.
Yeah. Horror movies are not for you, mate. Don't go watching horror films and then doing reviews.
But yeah.
That wraps it for us today. Hope you enjoyed it. And this is the first episode of our second year. Episode.
Yeah.
And what a well-deserved 13th episode to have a horror film in it.
And hopefully we'll be doing this a lot more regularly. So we'll be turning out the films.
We'll try and do it every fortnight. Abu and myself, and we'll hopefully have a new guest, a new co-host almost, in our show the next time around. So I hope you keep watching. Yeah. And hope to see you.
Also, one more thing.
Sure.
Recently, I have put this on a podcast now. So if anyone is interested,
we do have podcasts.
It's on our social media. So if you follow it, you find a link. So you can listen to it on the go. If you're at work, or you shouldn't be in the field.
Especially in the long tube rides.
Exactly.
Something in your ear.
So you are working ways to expand the whole empire of us that we have growing so slowly. Yes. Empire.
I wish, mate. I wish.
Kingdoms is a lot more nicer than empire. But so we are focused on new ways to get out there. So
Anyway, hope to watch you 2 weeks from now.
Peace.